It's teaser time. NFL Week 5. Which teaser legs do you like the best? Again, click that like button, hit subscribe, check out the rest of our content. Got NFL Thursday Night Football breakdown. Got an awesome SEC breakdown for you. Again, we are all about giving you information to help you become a better handicapper. If you want our plays, that's great. $1.37 a day. Go to breaktheboardsports.com to get that every play, every sport. But it's more about following here, catching you a little 10 to 20 minute snippets to help you become a better handicapper. Breaktheboardsports.com. Again, hit subscribe, click that like. NFL teaser bets. Last week in the NFL was great. 15-2 put us up 13.37 units because we had some plus money there. Let's get into teaser legs for this week and some options that I like and also trends to back them up. First and foremost, let's go to the NFL Thursday night game. We got the San Francisco 49ers at the LA Rams. Listen, I get it. Brock Purdy's out. Is there really that big of a difference between him and Mac Jones? I don't think so. On top of it, the 49ers still got Christian McCaffrey. They still got Kyle Shanahan, who's 10-6 straight up. Right now, this line is setting at 8.5. There's a couple 8s, a couple 7.5. So I see a 9 offshore. But 8.5, let's just use that for the premise. I love San Francisco in a 7.2 team teaser. And you say, whoa, RJ, I only do 6-point teasers because they're $1.25. I can't afford $1.40. Why would you bet a 6-point teaser to get through these key numbers and you don't get the extra point on a touchdown? It's so important. How many kicks have you seen blocked? How many extra points have you seen missed, right? So the 7 points, I'll pay a little extra juice. Again, I know juice. I understand units. I keep track of those for all my guys. Keep track of them for you all. But here's the reality. You don't have to worry about the juice if you win. Now, there is a threshold. You can't go laying $3. But if you're picking out your 1 or 2, 3 best teaser plays, you're going to be okay as long as you pick winners. Again, value is great. I think it's an overused term in our space. It's about picking winners. You can either pick winners or you can't. Doesn't matter how much value you have. If you can't pick winners, you're up the creek. You guys laying a bunch of juice because you're loving the favorites. Guess who bets favorites? Squares. SpongeBob SquarePants bets favorites, right? So again, when you're looking to tease, I know it's so easy. And if you listen to any kind of podcast, any kind of sports book director, they're telling you, oh, we need the Bills because they're in every teaser and every money line parlay. Stay away from that stuff. It's where handicappers and bettors go to die. Again, teasers are great. Get out of your mind, oh, I can get this favored down just to win. I want to switch your mindset. Think about getting a dog, which most NFL games come down to the last 2 to 5 minutes anyway. That's why they have the witching hour on the red zone. You guys have seen it. Shift your mindset to let me get another touchdown with a dog. And I think this is a perfect spot. Divisional matchup, San Francisco 49ers, right now 8.5. So I love them as a 7-point teaser leg, right? The 7-point teaser leg, you get them plus 15.5. That's extreme great value if you're looking for value. And then plus 10.5 or plus 18.5 in a 10-point teaser. Now, a lot of 10-point teasers, it's 3 teams, minus $1, minus $1.30, minus $1.35, right, for a 3-team 10-pointer. And so I'll give you, for instance, like this week, I gave this out to my players, bet it myself already. For a double unit, I got 3-team 10-pointer. I got San Francisco plus 18.5, the Denver Broncos plus 14.5, and I made the Cowboys a plus 7.5-point dog because can I see the Cowboys blowing a game against the Jets? Yeah. Can I see the Jets beating anybody by more than 7? Absolutely not. They couldn't be a blind team by 7. So even if whoever wins this game, it's a possession or less, I'll love getting the 7.5 in that spot. So trends, again, we talked about those. They're extremely important, right? San Francisco, they're only 3-10 against the spread their last 13. But Kyle Shanahan, 10-6 straight up that advantage. I think that's an extremely key number. Let's move over to another one that we're talking about. Let's look at the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Houston Texans. Now, the Ravens, there's been a lot of talk around this, the whole Lamar Jackson thing. They're decimated on defense. Line started out, 7.5 Baltimore. Now they're catching 2.5. It was 1.5 this morning. Houston up to a minus 2.5-point favorite. Money's about split. 52% of bets on the Texans money, 48% of the handle on the Ravens. Listen, If you get the Ravens in a 3-team 10-pointer plus 12.5, Houston, I agree. Elite defense, top 3 defense. But Baltimore is at home. I don't care what anybody says. It's a must win. Cooper Rush has been effective before. Sunday's not a fair spot to put him in. How many reps did he get that week? None. And he's in Kansas City fighting from behind. We've seen Cooper Rush take a Dallas Cowboy team that's far less talented and win ball games with them, okay? Now he gets all the reps in practice this week. He's playing against the Houston team, and let's be real. Houston, you might say, oh, they got right. They blew out the Titans 26-0. Here's another key for you. In the NFL, don't pay attention to what happened last week. Look at the whole body of work. Don't pay attention to what happened last week. Last week, if you have recency bias as a handicapper or better, you will be broke. It's just a reality, okay? Because guess what? Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is doing on Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning when they're placing their bets after their work week. They're looking at, oh, Texans blew out the Titans last week. Baltimore don't have Lamar. This is an easy peasy win. Not so fast. Give me Baltimore. I love them either way. You can 7-point them up to plus 9.5. Now, 9.5 is a dead number, right? So you say, well, John, you love 7-point teasers. I get it. But 6-point teasers, there is a space for them because when you can cut juice, I do think that's fantastic as well. So if you wanted to dance with a 2-team 6-pointer, because again, 9.5 is a dead number, getting over 8 is really the key. So if you took the Ravens plus 8.5 in a 2-team 6-point teaser, now you can find another partner to dance with. Is that partner the New England Patriots plus 14.5? You say, well, wouldn't you tease Buffalo down the win? Absolutely not. Again, division game. I think the Patriots are a great teaser leg. 6-point teaser up to 14.5, a 7-pointer up to 15.5, or even better, a 10-point 3-team teaser. If you put the Patriots in a leg of that, you're getting 18.5 points. There's a lot of people that think the Patriots got a shot to win this game. This is the Patriots Super Bowl. This is what they're playing for. New England is 4-1 against the spread against the Buffalo Bills over their last 5 games. So if they're 4-1 ATS their last 5 games against Buffalo, now you could get 15.5 or 18.5. You got to take that. You got to jump all over that, especially with Mike Vrabel at the helm. I do understand it's scary. Buffalo 13-0 their last 13 games at home. Now, that's not something you really want to step in front of. I do understand that. And I don't believe you should bet on something because you're betting on a streak to end. That's a bad strategy to go with. But when you look into these two teams, again, division games matter. Last year, New England beat them by 7 in New England. And in Buffalo, they only lost by 3. Rewind the previous year. In Buffalo, Patriots lost 27-21. In New England, Patriots won 29-25. Okay? You got to go all the way back to 2022 for the Bills to cover the Patriots in a 7-point or 10-point teaser. Again, I think the Patriots are extremely great value. This is the best Patriots team they've had since 2022. And you have the best coach they've had. And you might say, well, they have Bill Belichick. Yeah, but as we've learned, old Wild Bill from Dawsonville is on the back end of his career for sure. Next one, Los Angeles Rams. I think there's nothing wrong with teasing both sides of a game. Rams, I think, are a good play in a 7-point 2-team teaser. Again, getting the Rams down to -1.5, I think that's a good play. Next one on the board I want to talk about, especially for a 7-point teaser thought, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Tampa has looked really good at some points, and other points, they haven't looked so great. But I think this is a great spot. Seattle has struggled at home. Despite being 5-1 straight up their last 6 games, Seattle is just 2-7 ATS their last 9 at home. Remember, Seattle in the 12th man used to be such a big thing. But Tampa Bay, they're 5-1 against the spread against Seattle the last 6 games, and they're 9-3 straight up. Right now, this line is setting at 3.5. Just from a betting splits perspective, 76% of the handles on the Seahawks compared to just 24% for Tampa Bay. So again, like I said, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, you got to pick what that threshold is and fire on the other side. But now we're not talking about 3.5. we're talking about a 10.5-point spread and a 2-team 7-point teaser. I would look for the Bucks in a leg of that. You might say, now, RJ, what about the Seahawks? If I like the Seahawks to win, when it gets over 3 points, I am not a fan of taking a favorite, swinging them past the key 0, and making them a dog. I just feel like, just me personally, haven't had luck with that, and I feel like that puts you at a disadvantage. I like to look at dogs I can tease because, again, what's the public doing? They're taking favorites trying to get them down to win, right? Here's another one. The Arizona Cardinals is going to be one of the most bet teasers, 7.5, 8.5, depending. Give me Tennessee. Listen, the Arizona Cardinals, remember they were running away from the Carolina Panthers earlier this year, dominating them. And then all of a sudden, the Panthers got back in the game. Tennessee could do the exact same thing. Now, Tennessee didn't play well last week. They ran into a buzzsaw. But let's not make no mistake about it. Arizona's defense is not Houston's defense. And also, Arizona has sputtered offensively. Tennessee's defense has looked pretty solid for the most part. Cam Ward came out, said the team had to play better. Again, you're not asking the young man to win the game. You're just asking him in a 7-point teaser plus 15.5 or a 10-point teaser plus 18.5. I feel like that's good value. Now, Tennessee, I get it. 1-9 ATS their last 10, and they've lost all 10 of those straight up. And Tennessee 0-5 against the spread their last 5 games versus the Cardinals all time. In that span, they were able to sneak one win, but 1-4 straight up. Arizona has been really good covering against the number. They're 10-5 against the spread over their last 15. I just feel like there's not many spots for Tennessee to get wins. I think they're a live dog. Call me crazy, but I definitely love getting them over 2 touchdowns. I think that's a world which you can live in and play in and make money on the Tennessee Titans this week. The Denver Broncos, right now, that line's 3.5 or 4.5. I bet it straight at 4.5. So absolutely, I'd love them in a 7-point teaser plus 11.5. All the time you see 31, 20, 34, 23, 21, 10. 11's turned into a key number over the year, especially with a 2-point conversion. But how about this? How about right now, like I said, the line's anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5. And as far as your betting splits go, Denver not getting the love. Only 31% of tickets and 32% of the handle. The public is on the Eagles. Again, I said this in the show. Check it out. Breaking down the Broncos-Eagles. Gave a full breakdown of that game. The Eagles could very easily be 1-3, right? They should have lost the Dallas game if CeeDee Lamb can catch a ball. If Travis Kelce catches the touchdown with the Chiefs and it doesn't go into the hands of an Eagle guy, now they're 0-2. The Rams had them beat the whole entire game, and then the last quarter and a half fell apart. Still had a chance to win it. It took a block kick. This Philly team, I'm not saying they're not the best team in the NFC, but, man, they're not this overwhelming dominant team. I get it. Your record, you are what your record says you are. But the reality of the matter is Denver's defense is really good. Now, I don't know how good Bo Nix really is. I see a lot of sophomore regression. But the fact of the matter that you can get the Denver Broncos plus 10.5, plus 11.5, head-to-head with Philly, they're 4-2 against the spread over their last 6. Denver against Philly, while being 4-8 straight up their last 12 against them, and Philly winning 10 straight games. I just like Denver here in this spot. I think they pose a lot of problems with that defense. Philly's had problems throwing the ball. Again, both of these teams like to run the ball. I think when you get over 2 possessions, you're flying over that 10.5, you're flying over that 11.5. Extreme value with the Denver Broncos in that game. Let's look at another one, and everybody's going to say, let's tease down the Indianapolis Colts. Let's tease down the Colts. I get it. I do get it. But I would challenge you, let's look at teasing the Raiders up, especially in a 10-point. You say, how could you take the Raiders on the road? Geno Smith and them look horrible. The reality is Geno Smith every other game changes with the win. Are we really sold on Daniel Jones? I mean, are we really sold on him? Listen, the Colts are the better team. I'm not going to argue that with anybody. Raiders 3-14 straight up over their last 17 games. Colts 7-2 straight up their last 9 at home. But the Raiders do cover games. They're 10-5 against the spread head-to-head with the Colts over their last 15. If you can get the Raiders plus 14 in a two-team seven-pointer or plus 10, plus 17 in a 10-point teaser, I think you're headed down the right track there for sure. Again, I just think it's something you should look at, put into your handicap. I think there's some value there you can get with them. Again, click that like, hit subscribe. Another one, this team not getting a lot of love, and it's probably because Jalen Daniels is wearing that knee brace at practice this week. Commanders at the Chargers. Chargers are getting overwhelming amount of love. 77% of tickets, 83% of the handle, compared to just 23% of tickets and 17% of handle to the Washington Redskins. Chargers laying 2.5 now. It was 3. Again, we talk about 6-pointer. Again, 9.5 is kind of a dead number. I like Washington in a 6-point teaser, getting them plus 8.5. We talked about this earlier. Maybe you put them with Baltimore, a little 4.95 teaser there. Washington getting over the 8.5 number. I do think they keep it close. The reality that the Chargers are down both of their tackles, that's going to show up at some point. Not saying Washington has the greatest defense, but they are 9-3 straight up their last 12. I didn't like what I saw with the Chargers last week. Giants being able to get to them. Now, Chargers have been a covering machine. 12-4 against the spread their last 16 games. And Washington and the Chargers head-to-head, 1-4-1 ATS. Washington is against the Chargers, so they have struggled. But again, if you're talking about giving me 8.5, I think anybody would take that, especially the fact all the bets are going in on the Chargers. Even if something happens that you had to have Marcus Mariota, I think plus 8.5 is a really good number and a number you could live with if you took the Washington Commanders. Again, Herbert, he's going to be under distress. He was under distress all last week against the New York Giants. They were able to get pressure. They were able to get in his face. So again, I would look to Washington in a teaser leg there. 6-pointer, again, a 7-point kind of puts you in no man's land. Again, I always say I don't like taking big favorites and teasing them down. I try to look for dogs, but I can't resist. If I'm running a 3-team 10-pointer, I love San Francisco plus 18. I love Denver plus 14.5. I love the Patriots plus 18.5, but I can't lie. I also like the Detroit Lions, putting them down to pick. Now, 88% of bets and 88% of the handle is on the Lions. I'm well aware that's not usually good to step in front of, but let's be real. Detroit is 17-3 straight up over their last 20. Cincinnati, 1-4 ATS their last 5. Now, the overs cashed 7 of the last 8 games at home for the Bengals. The only thing that gives me pause, Detroit's been really good ATS, 6-2 against the spread their last 8. But did you know head-to-head, the last 7 times these two teams have met, Cincinnati is 6-1 ATS versus the Lions. Pretty hard to believe here on this one. Still, I think if you can get the Lions in a 3-team 10-point teaser, getting them down to pick, and again, you can get those minus 130, minus 135. I think that's something you can really live with. Again, in those 3-team 10-pointers, I like, again, Dallas to plus 7.5. I could easily see the Jets beating Dallas, but the reality is I can't see either one of these teams beating the other one by more than 7 points. I think it's going to be a very close game with these two teams stacking up. A little tidbit extra thing. I want to throw caution to the wind and throw warning signs, right? Because I'm seeing betting splits, I'm seeing money, I'm seeing ticket counts, and I just want you to be really careful. Jackson Dart's getting an overwhelming amount of love with the New York Giants. Everybody's excited, and we can all agree that if the Titans aren't the worst team in football, it's probably the Saints. But can you really see the Saints not winning a game all year? I can't. So you got to look at it and you say, where could the Saints win a game? You say, oh, well, hosting Carolina in the division, but the game's in New Orleans. Could see that. Are we sure the Giants are any good either? Right? Like, they beat up on a team in the Chargers that if they have both their tackles, that game's probably different, and the Chargers still had every opportunity to win that game. It's not like the Giants blew them out. They only won by 3. Just be careful right now because, again, a lot of love for the Giants, just be really careful. When I see a team getting 75% of the tickets and every news outlet is talking about Jackson Dart and the Giants and how energized they are, this just could be a prime spot where they end up getting tripped up. He's a young kid. I saw him in person at Ole Miss last year, and I saw him at home absolutely choke the game away against Kentucky. And here's another thing. The Giants turn around and play on Thursday night at home, Thursday night football, big primetime game. And who comes to town? Rival Philly. This is a dead spot for the Giants. I'm not saying you take the Saints. I'm just saying be very, very careful. Another line that I've seen and I've watched kind of bounce around, and a lot of the splits and a lot of the tickets are just giving overwhelming amounts of love to the Chargers because they love them in a bounce back situation. Again, whether it's Daniels, whether it's Mariota, Washington can score, and Washington also has a pretty decent defense. Not electric, not life-changing, but they got a good defense. Just be very careful. I know it's easy. Remember, the Chargers, they don't really have a home field advantage to speak of. They just don't. So getting Washington plus points, again, I think some dogs are going to bark and really, really surprise a lot of people this coming week. I know it was a favorites week. Favorites took the week this past week, but I think it's going to flip and it's going to be a dog's week. Last one I want to caution you about, and I'm not real sure what's happening or what people are watching, but the game in London, Vikings at the Browns. Browns catching 4.5, and they're getting 58% of tickets and 87% of the money. Dylan Gabriel is going against a Vikings defense that I just don't think in his first NFL start on the road. The Vikings have already been overseas for a week, and now he's got to dissect Brian Flores' blitz scheme. I don't think that poses a real good outcome. I know people are down on Carson Wentz, and they're like, same old Carson Wentz, right? And I know the Browns got the best defense in the NFL. I get all that. I just think, again, this game could easily be tied and a late touchdown get you 27-20. I'm not saying I would lay it with the Vikings. I'm just saying I think it's a really hard swallow if you're looking for 3 to 4 NFL games to play straight to put the Browns as one of them on your card. And I know a lot of people say, it's an extra time frame, play the 9:30, then I play the 1. Again, I'll never say this enough. The biggest benefit we have as bettors and handicappers is we don't have to make the bet. We get to pick which games we want to place a bet on. Click that like, hit subscribe, check out our other content. You'll love our SEC breakdown. There's some games I absolutely love. Arch, will he get chomped up by the Gators in the swamp this weekend? Check out that one. Also, check out Thursday Night Football. McCaffrey versus Stafford, 49ers, Rams. The whole world's on the Rams. Is it too many points? Check out the show. I'm your boy, RJ Cash. BreakTheBoardSports.com for $1.37 play a day. God bless and happy handicapping.